Hey there. I was gonna set that timer and be all cool about it and run some music, but then the music stopped, so I'm turning the timer off. So hope everybody's doing well today. So Brett had a live yesterday evening, I guess, in regards to talking about implementation and how Scott Howell's brain was the size of a small squirrel, which I can't verify that, but it was sure pretty funny when he talked about it on stage at 8% Nation. But maybe Scott will jump on and comment and tell us whether or not his brain really is the size of a small squirrel. Anyhow, the Brett brought up some really interesting questions about like implementation, and then there's been a ton of talk also about like gurus and implementation and how do those two things go together. And honestly, I've been kind of struggling with my own issues, just not necessarily from the standpoint of this group per se, but more so just from the standpoint of like as an entrepreneur and as a business person. I've gone through a ton of like personal life changes in the last, several months. And one of the issues that I've been having is like motivation. And I don't mean like motivation in the like micro sense of like, why am I even alive? Like nothing like that. Like obviously I'm working for money, and obviously everyone works for money, because if you didn't have to work for money, you probably wouldn't work at all. But in my case, I'm looking for a more like, what is my goal, I guess? What is my thing that I really want to obtain, whether it's, some sort of existential thing, or whether it's a physical thing, or whether it's something, spiritual. I've been working through that issue. But kind of where this comes into the gurus part of it is that I have dealt with and consulted with several lately. And I kind of go back to what Todd had said earlier in the week, and then also kind of what Brett said, is that like it's a lot of talking fluffy stuff. And I feel like everybody needs a little fluff now and again. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, so you tell me to insert strange thing, like think about light, and my phone's ringing. That's awkward. Think about what kind of light you want in your life, or what kind of tree you want to be, or if you had to be a crayon, what color, like stuff like that, which is just pointless dribble. It's not even real stuff. And then they're like, well, if you allow the positive type of light in your life, then you're going to be successful. And I'm like, well, maybe that is, but like, how do you take light and turn it into like a thing that's useful? I have no idea. And so my biggest issue with gurus and people like that has been like, how do you take the advice, I'll use two air quotes, advice they're giving, and actually turn it into something I can implement in my business? One of the things that I've been struggling with lately is trying to figure out how to drive more revenue. And is that, do I need more clients? Do I need more money? Do I need both? Or do I need to raise my prices? And so just getting someone to kind of help me tell me what to do has been really challenging, because it's like everyone wants me to pay their $7,000 for their service or something like that, or they want me to go read this book, and that this book is going to change my life. And I'm like, well, I'll read a book or take your class or whatever, and that's fine, but like, how do I implement that into this business? And a big part of the event that Brett and I went to this past weekend, the 8% Nation conference, was like, it was a lot of like, how to be a better speaker and how to be a closer and how to do all of that, which is great and worthwhile information if that's what you're seeking. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know how to implement that. And so, to be honest, I think that's one of the great things about what Agent of Traction is teaching, as well as, just kind of your mindset, is how do I take these kind of ideas that people are throwing out there and telling you should do, and actually use them to turn them into something? What is it I need to do today to make this thing that I've been learning about be successful tomorrow or next week or at the end of the month or whatever the timeline is? I'm going to pull up the comments here to see if anyone's commenting on stuff. just so I can try to answer questions if people have them. Let's see here. Social alerts. Wait, chat. Let's try the chat. Open in the browser. Let's see if anyone's chatting at me. The answer to that is no, I think. I don't know. I'm using new software, and I haven't really used this, so I don't know a ton about if I'm doing it right. I guess after I get off of this live stream, I'll know the answer to that. But sorry, I got derailed a little there. Squirrel. Let me pull back up my notes. And the biggest question I have for you, and maybe you'll answer this in the comment, or maybe you'll make your own video or whatever, is just like, if you have a coach, or if you have a guru, or you have a spiritual advisor, or a life associate, or whatever you want to call that, how are you taking the advice that person is giving you or showing you or making you read, and then like implementing it into your life? And like, I know that it's not just well, you went to bed with this information yesterday and then you woke up and just like poof, it's just implemented. Like, it doesn't work that way, and people who say it works that way are lying. Like, I want to know how you're taking this, quote unquote advice that you're receiving from people and then actually putting it into your life and what you're doing. How are you changing your mindset of the way you used to do it versus the way you do it now? So, I know one of the great things about Agent of Traction is it's given me a group of people that I work with weekly. I mean, every Tuesday morning at 10:30 Central Time, we get together and, we hold each other accountable. We also, help each other when we need help, and sometimes we just screw around and make jokes because, I mean, frankly, that's sometimes just as helpful as anything. You need a place to just blow off some steam. So anyway, I've just been really struggling with this whole guru thing and how to take it to the next level and how to be the person that I want to be with the business I want to have, but do it in a constructive way that makes sense financially, and again, makes sense in a business perspective. So love to hear your thoughts, comments, concerns, preferably related to this topic. Otherwise, hope you're having a great Wednesday, and I will theoretically see you later this week, where we might be talking about some, automation things. Just keep that in mind. If you have things you want to automate, let us know. All right, talk to you soon.